The river needs some TLC. It's alright, I'm just about done with this one. Then I can clean everything up. Alright, so made a little sail streamer here. Real easy to make. It's just construction paper and thread. And then obviously with the construction paper, you know, in order to get a glossy look, which I wanted, you just have to give them a coat in some gloss Mod Podge. So real cheap and real easy. I mean, this streamer here probably cost 5 cents to make. But the problem is, you know, you buy a packet of construction paper, and I used probably 1/8 of 1 page of each color. So 1 page of each color could probably make you, what are they, 8, 5, 40, I don't know, at least 4 feet. So I think I'm going to do one more and run it from here over here. Actually, maybe 2, because I might run one from up at the top down to that corner. All right. Wanted to look at some Greenlight. Haven't really looked at a lot of Greenlight lately, and I got a new one today. Another new tooling. So we'll look at that here in a minute. But here is this awesome Ford Explorer. In my opinion, one of Greenlight's best pieces that they've done. It's just a great looking model. It's so well done. It's so highly detailed. With the transparent lens headlights and taillights. And the prototypical wheels. It has a proper stance, which is an issue with Greenlight a lot of times. It is a factory color. And this came from Hitch and Tow. I don't remember if it was Series 2. It was either 2 or 3. But it's the only time, well, I shouldn't say only. It's one of only 3 times that they released this casting as a civilian model. Almost every time they put it out, it's a police car. So you have this one from Hitch and Tow. There was a blue one from County Roads. Really hard to find. It's not really, like the other 2 are really hard to find. You can't find them on eBay that often. So that County Roads blue one, and then there's a champagne colored one from a Ford dealership diorama. And that dealership diorama is almost impossible to find. And I left it. I bought a stupid Volkswagen diorama. Those came out like, it was either 2014. I think it was 2014. It was like right when I started collecting. And Toys R Us got the Volkswagen dealership and the Ford dealership, and I bought the stupid Volkswagen, which I think all of the toolings were old high-speed Volkswagen toolings. They made, or not high-speed. What was the other brand that they got? I don't know. They sucked. It was a mistake, to say the least. Okay, so here is the new Greenlight tooling here. This right here is a Jeep. It's a 1980, so it's another car from the year in which I came to be. Now you can see there's an issue on this Jeep with the top. I don't know if that is specific to the one that I got or if that's how all of them are going to be. The reason that it's doing that is because the roll bar is too high. But this Jeep, as you can see, comes with a brush guard, which is mounted a little bit crooked. But you got lens headlights. Is that a winch? I don't know. This is my favorite Jeep tooling that they have, though. And it is definitely different from the CJ5. It's definitely a different tooling. It's got a much longer wheelbase. And it's just longer in general. Let's see if I can remove the top here. There we go. So the top is removable. And here, from this angle, you can see how different the CJ7 is to the CJ5. It's just very, very different. Here, I actually have a CJ5 here. So the most noticeable area, or the most noticeable difference, if you look behind the seats there on the floorboard, you can see all the way through. Come over to the CJ5, and that is not the case. And the seats are just different altogether. The shape of the back of the Jeep is different. So I like the CJ5, but I like the 7 better. The tooling numbers are different. The CJ5, I want to say, is 124. And then this one is 139. So they are not of the same tool. Man, that looks good. Okay, so there is the Jeep CJ7. One other thing I did too at the layout needed, I put some fence posts in. It just didn't look right without them. Even though this will never be seen. And I left that one taller. Actually, I left both of those taller. I may cut them down. The reason I left them taller is I was thinking of using it for the streamer. Which I may actually do that anyways. Just change it to that. I don't know. Let's look at some other Greenlight cars. Let's look at this Firebird here. This is an excellent tooling here. I think this is the nicest Firebird in the scale of this body style. A lot of people make the argument that the Johnny Lightning is better. And I just disagree. I think this one's better. The problem is this one has a lot of assembly issues. So if you get one of these that is put together properly, then I think they are much nicer than the Johnny Lightning. But the Johnny is a really nice tooling, and it's one of the few Johnny Lightnings that actually is really close to scale at 1:64. Almost all other Johnnies are small, closer to probably 168. But I do like this one. I like the wheels. I like the color. It's an older Greenlight release. We haven't seen this car in quite a while. Last time we saw it was in the MacGyver release, and I think before that, the last time it came out before that was the U.S. Border Patrol from Hot Pursuit, if I'm not mistaken. So this one is due, and we're due for a nice civilian deco. I don't know how on earth with all of the studio licensing that Greenlight has, how do we not have a kit? They would have to retool the hood. Or maybe the front bumper, I don't know. Could be done though. Really cool car. Okay, what other Greenlight cars? Yeah, how about this Ford Gran Torino? This is the one and only time this has been released as a civilian model. The inaugural release of this tooling was the Starsky and Hutch car, which I guess was a civilian model, but it had the gumball on top. It is a nice looking car. I like it. I like it a lot. I think they did a really good job with the proportions of the car, because if you compare this tooling to the Johnny Lightning, it's a perfect example of what I was saying about Johnny being small. Plus, that car it looks like a totally different car. It's much shorter wheelbase. The back end just seems much more compact. I guess compact would be the way to... I don't know. I think Greenlight in general does a much better job on creating their tools than Johnny Lightning does. Granted, most of the Johnny Lightning, in fact, all of the Johnny Lightning tools are older. I don't think that they've brought out a new tool since round 2 took them, which round 2 didn't really take them. There's a misnomer out there. Johnny Lightning, all the toolings are still owned by Tomy. Round 2 does not own Johnny Lightning. They own the I don't know if they own the naming rights. They definitely don't own the toolings. I think they're just leasing all of it from Tomy. See, Tomy, when they bought Learning Curve, they didn't want the diecast. They did it for the baby toys. Very low overhead, very easy to mass produce, very high profit margins. You know, a baby bath, which is what? It's basically a molded tub. They cost what, $20, $30? They probably cost $5 to make. That's what Tomy wanted. And that's why, by the way, that's why Johnny Lightning went away. Because Tomy had no interest in the diecast. They didn't want the diecast. It was just part of the deal. So what you have is you have round 2 with Auto World, and you know they've only got like 29 toolings, and so they lease the tooling rights to Johnny Lightning and Racing Champs, and then they it's a perfect deal for Tomy because they don't have any of the responsibility, they don't have any of the overhead, they don't have any of the transport costs, like none of it. They just collect a fee and let round 2 do all the work. But because that is the current arrangement, by the way, this is all theoretical. I don't know that this can be confirmed, but let's just say I heard this from somebody who would definitely know, okay? So it's not like pie in the sky stuff. So there's a theory out there, well, not really a theory, but there's some hope out there that maybe since round 2 is leasing the tooling rights to Johnny Lightning, why don't they lease the tooling rights to Tomica? That would be Tomy's foot in the foot in the door to the North American market. But people speculate that Tomica doesn't want in the North American market. So who knows? I don't know. I think it all. I mean, that makes a lot of sense to do that, in my opinion. It would never happen with Tomica Limited Vintage, but with Tomica, the basic stuff and maybe some of the premium, I would not be surprised to see that happen. I just don't know if round 2 would even be interested in it. But anyways, my point is, round 2 does not own Johnny Lightning. They don't own the tools or any of that stuff. They lease the rights to produce the cars, and then they produce the cars and they distribute. And we are all happy that they do it, because if they didn't, we wouldn't be seeing all these new Johnny Lightning releases. This Trans Am it might be my favorite 1:64 scale Trans Am. It's a second gen. I think I like it. Maybe, is that a second or a third? I don't know. But I think I like this one better than the Auto World Trans Ams, which is weird because, typically those are definitely better toolings, and the Greenlight Trans Ams typically don't look this good. But the execution on this particular release is stellar. It's just about as good as you can get. This is a Hollywood release from the television show, or maybe it was the movie, I don't know, because I never watched it, but it was called Hunter. And it's a fairly early Hollywood release. I think it was sometime around Series 8. And you're probably going to want to pick this up now after seeing it here, because there's just something about a black Trans Am with no bird and tan interior. It just looks so killer. That looks amazing. All right, another Greenlight. Little dealership truck here. This is a cool truck. I like it. By the way, at Hobby Lobby today, when I found the Jeep, surprisingly, I also found a hobby exclusive Bigfoot, the small tire variation. I was very surprised to find that at a Hobby Lobby. I've never seen a hobby exclusive Greenlight at Hobby Lobby before. I've always thought those were third-party exclusives. But that Chevy truck is nice. It's pretty much on point. Trans Am is definitely on point. So this notchback here, I think I'm going to have to do a tire swap on it, because these tires are just too big. Other than that, I think the car looks great. Might end up doing a wheel swap. For sure going to do a tire swap. But I don't want to do too much. I like to keep my stuff as stock as possible. Okay, so that's the Greenlight. Now we're going to look at just a few import cars. Starting with Tomica. This is a Tomica Premium. It's not even a limited vintage. Could you imagine round 2 putting one of these out with the Tomica tool? So you get the Tomica tooling and you get all the round 2 detail. That would be pretty killer. This is a very highly detailed car. Considering it's part of their premium line, it almost looks like a Kyosho level of detail. Because remember, Tomica Premium, the premium is really only in the name. There's not much premium about them. They have plastic base. They have plastic tires. They're nice, and they do have nice detail. I guess compared to Hot Wheels, they probably are premium. But compared to Kyosho and Tomica Limited Vintage, I would not call them premium. But this one here, you can put this next to a Kyosho, and you probably wouldn't tell the difference. Oh, also, really cool feature. The headlights on this thing. This car is pretty expensive, though. I think it originally retailed for like 12 bucks. Now, I don't know. Last I looked, they were like 30. But pretty cool car. The Tomica Premiums also do have suspension. So, what else did I bring out here? I brought out a Volkswagen Golf, one of my favorite Kyosho cars, and one of the first cars that I look at whenever I finish a layout. This is one of the cars I go to first. Can't wait to see what Greenlight does with this. I know it's going to suck compared to this one, but look, if I was involved in that, that's exactly what I would do. Is I would buy one of these and I would try to model it as closely as possible, focusing mainly on the stance, the size of the wheels, and the OEM rims. I hope that Greenlight does small wheels like they did with the Datsuns. And lens headlights, I hope. I think all their other Volkswagen toolings have lens headlights, so there's no reason not to do it with the Golf, because I don't think you're going to be doing racing configurations. And even if you do, you can still do lens headlights. That's what bugs me about the 510. It's like, well, we didn't do lens headlights because there's a lot of racing configurations. It's like, well, just tampo the graphics over the lenses. Who cares? This right here is a German gem. Beautiful car. I picked this up a while back from Lamar Fashion, and I haven't regretted it since I did it. Really cool car with the Porsche. This car has some interesting headlights. Just take a look at those headlights. Okay, one more car. This is also one of my favorites. I have a handful of Kyosho that are on my I won't trade list outside of all the Toyotas, and that is the Golf, the Impreza, the G-Wagon, the Bentley, and the R30 Skyline. Those are cars that I don't believe I'll ever part with. Nobody has done this car better in this scale. Nobody. Kyosho absolutely smashed it. And I love this car. I got the right color. This car's climbed a bunch in value since I got it. I think I only paid like $10 for this back in the day from the Toy Pimp. Back when that's about what Kyoshos cost. And now they're just so hard to find. Kyosho has not been producing diecast all that much the last couple of years, so a lot of speculation as to why. But it's a shame because they make some amazing diecast cars. So that's an eclectic inventory for the dealership here. What do they got? They got a notchback. Yeah, we won't count the Jeep because that's not for sale. That's the owner of the dealership who is divorcing his wife, so he's currently living in his trailer at the dealership. Got a vintage Ferrari Testarossa, a custom Ford Bronco, a shop truck Chevy C10, a vintage Trans Am, I believe that is a 1980, a little Porsche 914, a Subaru, is this a WRX? Nope, it's a Subaru Impreza 22B GTI version. The Volkswagen Golf is a GTI. I had a buddy in high school that had a GTI Golf. It was white. It was a hunk of crap, if you want my honest opinion. Alright, and that doesn't count the other Trans Am that we looked at, and Torino. And that Torino's nice. The Hobby Lobby by my house, there's 7 of these on the pegs. And they've been there for, I don't know, it started with 2 or 3, and then every week with their truck they would get one. And nobody's buying them, so now they have 7 of them sitting there. I think I'm going to go hide them all so that they'll start ordering some different stuff. Hobby Lobby is one of the few places where they don't restock based on what sells. Well, technically they're supposed to, but it's not digitally monitored. So they do it physically. Like the person that's in charge of that aisle will walk the aisle and order based on what they see that it needs. So if you take a bunch of green lights and go hide them somewhere, when they do their count to order inventory, they're going to order more Greenlight. And any of you that are watching that work at Hobby Lobby that get mad at me for handing out that information, I kind of apologize, but I kind of don't. You guys should be stocking more Greenlight because no one else sells it. At least not here in Phoenix. No other retailer sells Greenlight. It's just Hobby Lobby. Alright. Thanks for watching, everybody. That was 30 minutes. Probably about 12 minutes too long, but hopefully you enjoyed the diecast. And maybe, just maybe, you enjoy the scenery. Gotta tell you, making these layouts, for me, is as much of a hobby as collecting the cars. Maybe even more of a hobby to me. It's so fun to do. But the thing is, because I've thought about it. I'm like, maybe I should get out of diecast and just get into scale modeling. But then it's like, it doesn't work, because the whole reason I started doing it is for the diecast. They go hand in hand. I can't, me as a collector, I can't have one without the other. So I can't have diecast without the layouts, and I can't have the layouts without the diecast. So the way it works is, when money is tight and I can't buy diecast, I make a layout because I've got all the supplies to do it. So these layouts literally don't cost me anything to make at this point, because I have enough of a surplus of materials. All right, well, you all have a great night. Have a great Tuesday. Happy hunting, and I will holler at you all at the next diecast video.